The worst thing about secrets is that they don't stay buried forever. No matter how carefully you hide them, they always find a way to the surface. You know, if you had asked me back then, I would have told you that my life was perfect. I had everything a man could ever want: a beautiful wife, Vanessa, 2 amazing kids, and a home that always felt warm and full of love. I wasn't just happy. I was certain my marriage was strong. I remember the little things the most. The way Vanessa would greet me at the door when I got home from work, smiling like she had been waiting all day just to see me. We had a connection that felt real, deep, unbreakable. Of course, work kept me busy. I had a demanding job in the corporate world, and that meant long hours, business trips, and nights spent answering emails instead of sitting on the couch with my family. But I never thought of it as a problem. In my mind, I was doing what I had to do. I was building something for us, securing our future, so that my wife and kids would never have to struggle. Vanessa never complained. Not once. She understood. At least that's what I believed. She always reassured me, telling me how proud she was of me and how she appreciated everything I did. Our love life was just as passionate as ever. When I was home, we made the most of our time together. She never acted distant or cold. If anything, she made me feel like she still loved me the same way she did in the beginning. And that's why I never saw it coming. I never doubted her. Not even for a second. That trust was my biggest mistake. It was supposed to be a perfect weekend. The kids were away at their grandparents' house, giving Vanessa and me a rare chance to be alone. We had planned a romantic night, just the 2 of us, no distractions, no responsibilities. Dinner at our favorite restaurant, good wine, and the kind of night that reminded us why we fell in love in the first place. And for a while it was perfect. We sat across from each other, laughing, reminiscing about the early years when we were just 2 broke college kids dreaming about the future. We flirted like we used to, stealing glances and brushing hands over the table. The wine made us bold and playful. Every time she smiled at me, I felt lucky to be her man. On the drive home, I teased her, whispering things about what I had planned for her once we got inside. She giggled, playfully biting her lip, her cheeks flushed from the wine. Her hand rested on my thigh, her touch sending electricity through my body. It felt like old times. I had no idea that everything I knew about my marriage was minutes away from crumbling. We pulled into the garage, and Vanessa stepped out of the car first. I stayed behind, reaching for my phone and wallet when something caught my eye. A phone. It had fallen between the seats, almost hidden in the dark. I picked it up confused. It wasn't mine. My first thought was that maybe it was an old phone of Vanessa's, one she had forgotten about. Or maybe she borrowed it from a friend. But the moment I turned on the screen, something inside me shifted. The wallpaper wasn't familiar. The lock screen showed a missed message notification. A name, Eric. I felt my stomach drop. My mind tried to reason with itself. It could be a coincidence, right? But my gut was already twisting with something I didn't want to name. I unlocked the phone, and that's when my world ended. The messages weren't friendly. They weren't work-related. They weren't innocent. They were explicit, personal. My chest tightened, my breath coming in short, uneven bursts. My fingers scrolled through more messages, and with each one, the pain cut deeper. There was no doubt, no room for misinterpretation. My wife was having an affair. Then the final blow. Her lover wasn't just anyone. It was Eric, my colleague, my friend, a man I worked with every day, a man I had lunch with, a man who had shaken my hand, looked me in the eye, and talked to me about my family, about my wife. The world around me blurred. My body felt numb, yet somehow burning from the inside out. I had spent the entire night loving a woman who had been lying to me. The warmth, the laughter, the teasing, it was all a performance. And I had played my role perfectly, obliviously. I sat there, the weight of the betrayal crushing me, realizing that my marriage was likely over. When I finally stepped into the house, My fingers still gripped the phone like it was the last solid thing in a world that had just collapsed. The house smelled like vanilla and perfume, Vanessa's scent. It should have been comforting. Instead, it made my stomach turn. I made my way to the bedroom. The door was slightly open, and there she was, standing in front of the vanity, wiping her makeup off with slow, careful movements. She was humming softly, swaying just a little, still glowing from our evening out. The sight of her, so casual, so normal, made something snap inside me. How could she act like this? She must have sensed me standing there, because she turned. When her eyes met mine, she smiled just for a second. Then she saw the phone in my hand. The blood drained from her face. Her lips parted slightly, but no words came out at first. When she finally spoke, her voice was barely a whisper. "Robert." It was weak, uncertain, a plea. I lifted a hand, stopping her before she could say another word. My voice was calm, too calm. "How long?" That was all I said. The room fell silent. Vanessa's lips trembled. She opened her mouth, then closed it, her eyes darting around like she was searching for a way out. She didn't deny it. She didn't blurt out some excuse or try to twist the truth. And that was the moment I knew. She swallowed hard, her guilt washing over her like a wave. But it didn't matter. The woman standing in front of me wasn't my wife. Not anymore. She was a stranger. I didn't yell. I didn't demand answers. There was nothing she could say that would make this hurt any less. So I turned around, and I walked out. I didn't look back. Behind me, I heard nothing. No footsteps chasing after me. No desperate apologies. Just silence. Her secret was finally out. And so was I. I drove. That's all I could do. I didn't have a destination in mind. I just needed to get away, to put as much distance as possible between myself and the home that no longer felt like mine. The city lights blurred into streaks as I sped down empty roads, my hands gripping the wheel like it was the only thing keeping me grounded. My mind was on repeat, playing back every memory of Vanessa, every moment that now felt like a lie, every "I love you" she ever whispered. Every kiss that was supposed to mean something. Every time she looked me in the eye and made me believe she was mine. I thought about the nights we spent wrapped in each other, her body pressed against mine like I was the only man in her world. I thought about the mornings when she'd roll over, smiling, pulling me closer like she couldn't stand to be apart. And now, I wondered how many of those moments were shared with someone else. How many times had she touched me with the same hands that had just been on him? How many times had she told me she loved me while texting him under the covers? The betrayal wasn't just physical. It was in every lie she had told to keep the affair going. By the time I pulled back into the driveway, the sun was beginning to rise. I sat there for a long time, staring at the house, our house, wondering how I was supposed to walk back inside. How was I supposed to pretend things were normal for the kids? How was I supposed to look at Vanessa and not see the messages, not hear the words she had written to another man? I checked my phone. 17 missed calls. Dozens of texts. All from her. "Robert, please, talk to me. I need to explain. It wasn't what you think. I made a mistake." A mistake. No. A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk from the grocery store. A mistake is leaving your keys inside the car. This wasn't a mistake. This was a choice she made over and over again, knowing exactly what it would do to me if I ever found out. I didn't reply. I didn't even open the messages. What was there to say? What words could possibly fix this? The house felt different. The air was heavier, filled with things left unsaid. Vanessa tiptoed around me, watching me with wary eyes as if she was waiting for me to explode. But I didn't. I was too numb to yell, too tired to argue. We moved around each other like ghosts, pretending for the sake of the kids. They were the only thing that mattered now. They knew something was wrong, though they were too young to understand. My daughter, just 6 years old, tugged at my sleeve one morning, her big brown eyes filled with worry. "Daddy, why don't you smile anymore?" I had no answer. I just hugged her, holding her tighter than I ever had before, feeling the weight of everything pressing down on me. I used to believe in forgiveness. I used to believe in second chances. But some betrayals, some wounds cut too deep. Some things you just can't come back from. I knew Vanessa must have told her lover about my discovery. The first day back at work after that night, I saw the shift immediately. Eric, once overly confident, always quick with a joke or a handshake, wouldn't even look at me. He avoided the break room, took different hallways, and suddenly had urgent meetings whenever I was around. I didn't chase him. I didn't demand answers. I didn't need to. He knew. And he was afraid. But I wasn't going to confront him. I wasn't going to let him see my pain. Because men like Eric, they feed off of that. They thrive on knowing they've taken something that wasn't theirs, getting away with it like it was some kind of victory. No, I wasn't going to give him that moment. I had something better planned. Eric thought he had gotten away with betraying me, but he forgot one thing. I knew things that could ruin him. See, Eric had a habit of cutting corners at work. Small things at first, like falsifying reports to make himself look better, or shifting blame onto junior employees when mistakes happened. But over time, I had seen enough of his shady business practices to know he wasn't just unethical. He was reckless. And reckless men always leave evidence. I spent the next few days gathering every mismanaged project, every falsified document, every unethical deal I knew he had a hand in. It didn't take much. The proof was already there. He was just arrogant enough to think no one would ever look for it. When I had everything I needed, I put it together into an anonymous report and sent it straight to the top. It didn't take long. 2 weeks later, Eric was fired. Not a quiet resignation, not a simple letting go situation. No, it was public, humiliating, and brutal. They made an example out of him. And the best part? He never even knew where it came from. But I wasn't done. Taking his job was just the beginning. He took something from me, so I took something from him. I found his wife, Jessica, a woman I had only met a few times at office events, always polite, always kind. I wondered if she had any idea that the man she married was lying to her, sneaking around behind her back. I didn't have to wonder for long. I sent her the same photos, the same texts Eric had sent to Vanessa, the ones I had found on that second phone. Proof. Cold. Undeniable proof. I didn't add a message. No explanations, no threats, no demands. Just the truth. What happened after that? I don't know, and I don't care. I wasn't looking for closure. I wasn't looking for justice. I just wanted him to suffer. And I know without a doubt that he did. 2 months had passed, but the weight of it all still sat heavily on my chest. The nights were the worst. That was when the memories came back. I would close my eyes, trying to push the thoughts away, but they clung to me like a shadow, making me question everything. Had it all been a lie? Was I just too blind to see the truth all along? Or had she once loved me the way I loved her, only to throw it away for a temporary thrill? I didn't know, and maybe I never would. Vanessa still swore she had learned her lesson. She cried, she apologized, she begged for another chance. She wanted to fix things, to prove to me that she was still the woman I married. But she wasn't. I didn't believe her. I couldn't. Because if she had truly loved me, if she had truly valued what we had, she never would have done it in the first place. And yet, she was still here, still acting as if she deserved redemption. I had destroyed Eric. That part was over. He was out of a job. His marriage? Probably over too. That should have made me feel better. It didn't. Vanessa, though? She was still in my life. She's still the mother of my children. And that was where things became complicated. Every time I looked at my kids, I felt the weight of responsibility settles deeper in my bones. They didn't know what had happened. They didn't understand why things were different. They just knew that something had shifted, that their father wasn't the same man he used to be. I had a choice to make. Do I stay for them? Do I pretend for the sake of keeping our family together? Or do I walk away completely, leaving behind the woman who betrayed me, but also tearing apart the only family my children had ever known? I didn't have the answers. Maybe that's why I'm telling this story. Maybe you, whoever's listening, whoever's reading, maybe you can tell me what to do. Because if there's one thing I know for certain, it's this. The truth always finds its way to the surface. And when it does, the consequences are devastating.